Day 2 of the patrol?
Yeah.
Did you come with us, or I thought you stayed on the station?
No, I'm coming with.
Oh, okay.
And if I get the name of where you're passing. All right, Commander. If you would grace us with a log, please.
Start a 52913, a day 2 of our patrol all across the and on sector, to essentially show the flag, and potentially scare off the Scream of the Void, pirate raids that lie just outside of Federation base. We are now passing between the Tile Kuzi system and the Komotsa system. Not familiar with these Andorian pronunciations. So far, are nothing of note, but it is day 2 of 17, and there's still a lot of space between us and returning home. Hopefully, it is my hope that by doing this, show the flag, I can generate goodwill with the colony and show that Starfleet is out here to preserve the peace, not incite violence. And hopefully we can generate some reputation against the Scream of the Void, and generally make this a sector safer for all. Captain's log out. No, commander's log. Acting captain.
You're the captain of the ship.
We're rounding.
Within rounding error.
It definitely wouldn't be acting captain, though, because that implies that there is an actual captain who's away.
Ship commander's log.
Since your current location now, as we start, you're currently at warp heading toward your first navigation point. And whom is on the bridge? I assume that the commander is.
Yep. What's our warp factor compared to our top speed?
You're currently cruising at about 9.2.
Okay. And our top speed is 9.75? Like
yeah,
that?
around there. Yeah.
Alright. Because we want to go fast, but I don't want to give away how fast as we could go.
So the research that we've done, we've finished up the part that we were doing, right?
As I recall, yes, you guys had.
Okay, then I can be on the bridge, because I do not have any problems to solve right now, so I might be milling about looking for a problem to solve.
Actually, if you want a problem solve, I could give you one.
That sounds like a threat.
Well, in particular, the Scream of the Void is known for our jamming subspace and producing a jamming frequency across all subspace, and that prevents communication and also overloads communication systems of their target. I was thinking, could we employ communication buoys across the sector, or at least around the perimeter, that could counteract the effect? We do have sensor data on the scream frequency, at least that their fighter used.
This definitely sounds like a problem that maybe I've seen the Romulans have solved before. I can look into some possible solutions.
Just possible solutions. Let's narrow down to at least 3 and see where we go from there. I want to neutralize the Scream of the Void as much as possible in the sector.
I look busy thinking, and I just kind of wander off the bridge, headed towards the labs.
Interesting fellow.
Is he assigned aboard the ship, sir? Asks one of your crew. As this is the first time we've seen the guy for the last 2 days.
He's assigned to the sector in general. We have him aboard the a ship because he was making use of our science labs as we were taking off.
Ah. I see, sir.
And I figured, if he's busy doing pet projects in our labs, we might as well have him working on other pet projects.
Well, always good to have a researcher aboard. I didn't think we could have too many out on the ship anyway. Now with this posting.
Definitely not this potion. Anything report? All right, science, navigation, tactical. Status report.
At current, we are not detecting any contacts from the nearby systems, and all seems clear at the moment.
Anything of scientific interest in the systems we're passing by?
Let's
Any
see.
interesting astrophysical phenomenon?
At current, there are some listening posts over the nearby systems that have acknowledged our hails, and they recognize that we're passing by. But they're mainly the Talkuzi system. It has a planet on Talkuzi 2. It has a somewhat pre-warp civilization. Very spread out, but they're observing them. So Mutsa system also has a pre-warp civilization, very anarchic in nature, but the listening post is also watching them. No new sightings either way, but if we wanted to do a random inspection, we are under authority to do that.
No need of that time. Although, it's interesting having not one but two new pre-warp civilization is this close to the station. I might be able to swing that as some sort of scientific and research boon.
Aye, sir. That's why the listening posts were placed there to observe them, even when we first got out here before the war. But I've been keeping busy. There's not a whole lot there. Talkuzi has a fairly decent port. It's not quite to the same as Outpost Andon, but it's enough that it could service a ship like ours. But the other one's more of a frontier station, to put it that way. Just enough to do the job and not much else. Where's Lieutenant Commander Tamira at the moment?
Making sure her mind's intact.
So you're elsewhere on the ship? Just wanted to know. Commander Ray, give me a insight plus command. Difficulty. Hold on. I'm on the wrong page here. My notes are everywhere. Difficulty of 3. Basically, this is showing how well versed you are in this system, what you know about the planets that maybe that your crew might not know, but you would know as the CEO of the abandoned station.
Okay, so insight command,
Yes.
focus in cultural studies, interstellar law.
I'll give you cultural studies.
Okay. No momentum to make. All right. Well, now there's momentum.
So gain 2 momentum.
I thought you said difficulty 3.
Gain. Oh, you're right. Gain 1 momentum. You're right.
Keep me honest.
Try to give you free momentum, but you correct me. I mean, I'm not going to fight you. I'm going to send you some quick notes.
I do also have a focus in xenoanthropology.
Ooh, that would have triggered it too, actually. I can't see my own type. There we go.
Yay, information. Huh, interesting. No standing water. That's kind of cool. We're making such good radio right now.
Listening to the dulcet tones of the hum of the ship. Oh.
Mm-hmm. Did you see that ludicrous display last night?
Any consolation, Tamir would be working in one of the labs, going over the data she collected from the anomaly.
There you go.
Oh wow! So both these civilizations are pretty close to achieving a warp.
Yeah, Simutsu especially. Just for whatever reason, they've never. They have the tech, they're just never gone up.
They have the theories, they never quite just put them all together. Okay. According to Federation law, I'm assuming that we would have to be careful about using warp signatures and subspace signals close to the system, and in fear of cross-cultural contamination.
Yes and no, but for momentum, I can give you a more solid answer than that.
Yeah, let's spend the momentum. I want to play this by the book, especially with the first contact situation.
Okay, one momentum spent. That's half the reason why the listening posts are there. They're also there to kind of observe, but also block out their awareness of the wider universe. The listening posts aren't so much to watch for people invading into Federation space; it's to watch these planets in particular, and kind of so you can warp safely around them because their subspace telescopes will be a bit obscured.
Okay. And I'm assuming all the civilian freighters in the area and stuff would also know of this kind of like no-go zone.
Yeah, the listening post would be would in the other direction would tell people stay away from here, or
Okay.
Starfleet's going to be very upset with you.
Which we would be. Okay, so all that's taken care of. Otherwise, I'm quite interested in these two cultures. It could be any month of now. We could be dealing with the first contact situation near Andon.
Perhaps, sir. Although the problem is that we neither are very good candidates for membership. They may get warp technology, but they haven't really united in either case.
Yeah, I can see that.
We're going to cut to Tamira briefly, who you're looking over the... Oh, no. You're looking over about the gate?
Yep.
Anything in particular you're looking for? Or just general understanding?
General understanding, really.
I'll make this a... Reason plus science. Assisted by ships. Computers plus science. And I'm going to say... difficulty 4. To get a quick answer. Otherwise, it's going to become an extended task to kind of to pour through the data and get a fuller answer. This is to see if you see something right away.
Quantum mechanics for focus.
I'll give it to you, yeah.
Why not? Gonna use my determination on logic is the beginning of wisdom, not the end.
I'll give it to you.
Take 1 threat, spending 1 momentum to roll a 3rd dice. Just for the reroll.
You spent that 1 momentum earlier for asking a question.
Oh, never mind. Giving you 2 threat.
Okay.
That's 7, 8.
Good God. 4 momentum gained. And I'll shoot some information at you.
First science question. Does the readings definitely show that the gate is connected to another location? Second one, I like to determine the age, unless that's like a roll for it. But I'd like to see like the decay rate, like potentially how long the gate's been around. Or I guess better question would be if okay. That was my Psi and Studious, so spending a momentum for a third. What is it? Do they detect like a power source that is actually generating the or gate?
Any other questions you have for me? Or that you try to see through the scan readings that you've had some time to... Because some of this roll is also assuming that you've had a few days to kind of go to bed, read over your readings, think about it.
Is there potential more than 2? Okay. I'm thinking probably another test on the road is potentially, possibly mapping it out.
Like trying to map out how many more there are.
Yeah, but I feel like that's going to be a separate task.
You're right. You also need access to the gate to interact with it to get more information. Because you kind of caught it at the moment when you scanned it, which that scan does tell you a lot, but if you want it to give you more information, you'll have to tweak at it. Or information you didn't get at the time, I should say. But all these are things a tricoder picks up and you'd be able to ferret out. Any other questions that don't require the gate?
Nope. At least not this time.
Give me insight science difficulty of 1. As you notice something about your, I imagine you're doing this in your quarters or in a science lab somewhere on the ship.
Yeah, some lab or take a threat, just in case.
Sure.
Quantum mechanics for the reroll.
Wouldn't apply here. Although I will say, as a hint, the ship is assisting you with structure plus science. There's 1 momentum so far. And 2 more. So 3 momentum gained. As you're looking over the data, you notice all the electronics flicker. Like they kind of blink out for a second and then they pop back on again. Which usually implies some sort of interference or some sort of electrical field or energy field that you either the ship passed through or the ship detected. Not enough for an attack, because an attack, these wouldn't turn back on again.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? I had someone talking in my ear that came in.
Ah,
I apologize.
It's okay. You've been vaporized. It's fine. No.
Oh, okay, new character, I guess. Yay, art down the drain.
Yeah, he's a doctor who works in engineering. No. But no. What you detected was that when you're looking at your consoles, everything seemed to flicker out for a second. Like everything went blank and then came back on, and that indicates some sort of energy field that either the ship passed through or detected. It's not strong enough to be an attack, because then the screens wouldn't just pop back on again. They would just stay off. You kind of noticed that as you were doing your work.
Tamir to bridge.
Bridge here.
I experienced an unusual glitch with the computer terminal, indicating that we might have potentially passed through some sort of power field. Could you redirect the scanners on 120 Mark 38?
I nod to the science station and direct him to do such things. Anything we should be worried about for safety reasons?
More scientific curiosity, Captain.
Well, that's what we're out here for.
And the bridge sends down the sensor data station down to you, or at least access to it.
Okay. Sensor operations for focus.
Yeah. Reason science difficulty 4, sensor science, and sensor operations as a focus will work.
Take a threat. And
Sure.
spending 2 momentum. Just need the ship.
With what?
Sensor science. Okay, spending 2 momentum to get rid of that complication. The other talent that I was thinking about was not intensity, but yeah, no. Technical expertise. Should have took it.
You still get the bonus momentum though.
Yeah, through the high res. So I get 3 questions.
Fancy pants over here with their fancy questions. Trying to think how to word this because you got that roll. It's gonna make you succeed at cost and everything, but you made it, so shoot. Difficulty was actually 6. Yeah, everyone heard that, right? Back me up. If you do, you get an arc.
It's in
No.
black and white. I mean, I'll
There
take
are
that.
4.
I can re-roll a die, but that wouldn't really matter.
Oh, that's why. Looking normal. Oh, whatever. I know what it is.
Origin for one of the questions. Second free question: what type a subspace pulse? Uh, destination. Yeah, I have one left, or is that all of them?
You have one left because the locate where it was from was for free because you would have picked
Okay.
that up.
Is there a message in it? I would like to start deciphering the message.
You're gonna give me a roll. It's gonna be opposed. It comes down to I'm going to say I might be wrong. I'm gonna double check myself. I have an idea what it would be, but I want to make sure I'm not making this harder than I need to be. Okay. That is going to be an insight engineering task assisted by ship's communication plus security. Difficulty of I'm going to spend threat to make it 4.
What was the ship's roll?
Hold on. She's gonna tap her combat. Tamira to Dr. Magus. Magnus. It's Magnus, right?
Yeah. Yes, Commander.
Could you assist me in Science Lab 2? I picked up a very odd, peculiar subspace transmission. I would require your assistance in help deciphering it.
I'm working on something very important for the captain. Is it? Does it supersede that?
This could be potentially important towards a civilization that just recently might be discovering how to travel faster than warp. It seems encoded. It could be very important. It might be a distress signal.
All right, but you owe me one, and
I
I'll
think
head there.
this would be repayment, Doctor, as you.
I didn't. Yeah, like you. I didn't cut you off or anything. I just started heading there. You can. Yeah, the comm line's still open.
She just kind of stopped. I was like,
As you walk through the hall, some of the officers kind of look at you, Magnus, and kind of nod at you because they see you're a lieutenant, and they kind of just see the uniform, nod, and keep on their way. And stepping into the science lab, you see there's a few other people in the room who are doing other projects. A couple have paid more attention to what Tamira is doing because she stopped when she mentioned what she mentioned. It's like, oh, that's neat. I mean, I'm not a linguist, so I can't really help her, but hey, that's neat.
So what have you found?
the Artemis passed through a subspace pulse that originated from. I'm not sure how to pronounce this, but Munza. Say The communication signal seemed perhaps some sort of homing or distress beacon. It was very low band, but did cause some interference with our ship systems, only briefly. I do not know where its intended target was, but it was some sort of wideband frequency. But there was a message encoded in the pulse. I require your assistance to decipher, decode the message.
All right, where is it?
It's here on the computer. And she kind of gets up and lets him have the terminal.
What am I looking at?
The insight plus science assisted by the communications plus security. It's essentially to decode it. You have better scores than me. So like you're rolling 15 versus my 11. And I think
For what? Oh, for Insight Engineering?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I'll try translation.
Do you have a translation focus?
I have linguistics.
Oh, that would apply here, actually. I'll give it to you.
Translation would be a pretty narrow focus. Like it'd be like linguistics minus some.
Do you need the ship to like slow down, stop, turn around, do a little dance, make a little love?
It's all stored in the memory banks because the pulse came and pass.
It's been 15 minutes, and we've are probably a couple dozen light minutes away from the origin.
Yeah. Because you're kind of detecting it like several light years away. It's because you're not even coming close. The ship's purposely trying to stay away from the systems to not be easily detected, make it easier on the listening posts. That's why the difficulty is so high to even detect it, because it was so far away. Yeah, it's a insight engineering role, difficulty 4, assisted by ship's communication security. Just my mic. There we go. No, don't do that. Stop. 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 There we go. Dr. Magnus, what are you doing?
Yeah, I was just looking to see what I have that's relevant. I don't have. Yeah, I don't have a lot because more geared towards extended tasks. So I think I'm just gonna be rolling. I'll buy 4 dice. I'm not gonna spend any momentum, so 3 threat.
Okay. Thank you very much.
And I can assist with Tamira, right?
Yeah, you can. Meanwhile, Ray's nice and relaxed. Nothing going on. Nothing bad happening. Everything's fine.
Oh, God.
Just a nice leisurely patrol.
Let's get to
no.
the ship first.
Communication security commander, you can do it. I believe in the ship. Yeah.
I'm gonna re-roll the 1 for bold engineering.
That's a momentum. We can spend that momentum. I want to get rid of the complication. That should still be 4.
Yeah, you have enough, but you're buying it off? You're buying off the comp?
Yeah.
Yeah, buy off the comp.
I wasn't sure because we could use momentum for questions. We can't use threat for questions.
This is true.
Yeah, I'm not gonna spend it because yeah, I want some momentum on the table.
There'll be a complication though, unless
It probably won't.
He's probably just gonna bank it.
I'm fine with taking the complication because I want to be able to ask questions or, if need be, create some kind of advantage or something.
Let me in. Let me in. I want to make an advantage.
I am going to. Complication does happen. Just doing some quick editing here. It seems, given the distance of that you're detecting it, the message is not complete, but you're able to, and that's what kind of didn't make translating any easier. But it looks like it was trying to be encoded. If you were a lot closer to the source, you probably had an easier time. It's just that there's so little left of the original message that you're getting this.
Can I look for any kind of Oh, I gotta look up the name of it, but it's essentially a marker at the end of strings to know if you add up all of the characters, if you get the correct value that's at the end of the string, you know that you've not lost any or it's not been compromised. I can't remember what it's called.
It's some sort of key or something like that. I forget too. I know what you're talking about. I can't think what it's called. And you're looking for that?
Trying to see, yeah, I'm trying to see if I can find something like that, and then I might be able to find the compromises that have happened and infer what was supposed to be there. Maybe I can run that through, a couple, 10 million times until I get something that's actually in English that makes sense as a sentence.
You can try daring engineering, difficulty 3, to try to get that across, to recover or try to guess at what they're looking at. But you're looking at a complication of 2.
What was the difficulty?
3.
Can I use computers or
Oh.
linguistics?
You can use computers, and actually, I'll show you, Tamara, what the incomplete message is, because you're right there. You can see why the doctor wants to try to fill in some of the gaps.
It does not help me at all that my talents are spread out across 3 books.
Welcome to one of my character's problems. Oh, almost forgot to mention that. That'd be important.
It's in the book, main book.
What was that? Sorry.
Never mind.
Something... Oh, you got it?
Sorry, I'm being distracting. I spy something bright. A star. Damn it! I spy something hot. Another star. Damn it!
Now that on this task, can I activate testing a theory because I have succeeded at a previous task covering the same scientific or technological field?
I'll give it to you, yeah.
So I get
A free D20.
a free D20, and I get something from theory into practice. I just gotta
Difficulty
go
goes
to the...
down by 1, and you can re-roll one of the dice, I believe.
So many books. It just says reduces the difficulty by 1.
Oh. Sorry, Prax.
So it's now a difficulty 2, and I get I'm base rolling 3 dice, and I get an assist from who?
The ship, possibly Tamira if she doesn't want to Vulcan neck pinch you.
2 threat to get bold engineering.
Said daring engineering.
Yeah.
Computers for a focus.
I'll give it to you.
Reroll on the 1 for bold.
Whew, that 0 was so close.
I mean, I rerolled it anyways.
No,
Yeah.
Mine was like 1 away from being a 0.
Two momentum plus the ship.
What's computers what?
Engineering. Three momentum.
Would we have a translation matrix for the
It should be
Talcozy
4. Sorry. Because the difficulty went down.
Oh, you're right. Yep. What were you saying, Commander?
Do we have a translation matrix for the Talikusi language yet, or would we have to pick that up from the listening post?
If it was in that language, they'd be able to. There's a check to that makes the difficulty go down by 1.
Okay.
It's a control engineering test, and that gives you a chance insight engineering, and you reduce the difficulty by 1 if it's a language that you already have in your system, and you're just deciphering something strange. But if it's something new or encoded, then you use insight engineering. But you do have that language to answer that question. That is because the listening post would have picked up would have studied that language by now, and put it in the main memory.
Well, Commander, it seems like someone is calling for help.
Gee, it would be a good time to let the bridge know.
What was the
Says
name?
one of the science officers snidely.
Hold on. Well, I would rather let the bridge crew know, complete data first.
Of course, sir.
I don't think we're missing any data at this point.
Well, is the language native to that planet, though, that we just translated?
Oops. No.
Is it native to the nearby system?
No.
So this language isn't native to the area, or?
Correct. It's using a sort of galactic pigeon tongue, if you will. It's not Federation standard per se, but it is a language that was used sometimes between traders and freighters.
Assuming that
for people who don't have very good translation systems.
Assuming that was
Lingua
a
franca.
was that a momentum spend?
It was.
Do we know, is there a class of people who use it more than Federation now that Federation standard has become the dominant language? Or was this in the past that this was done, or is this currently being done?
It's one of the older languages because universal translator technology has kind of proliferated across the galaxy. More and more civilizations have figured out how to do it, and it makes life so much easier if you have one rather than trying to learn some pigeon tongue. But this one, you can either spend momentum or you can roll for it to figure out what language it is. Actually, the computer would tell you. What am I doing? It's based off of Talarian Republic trade language, which some people still use, but they usually don't use it from ship to ship because ships are usually equipped with some sort of translator.
With these types of messages, would I expect any type of metadata that would tell which ship sent it or anything like that, or is it just straight this message?
For one momentum, I can answer that.
Yeah, okay.
The message seems to specifically have omitted metadata, like it's trying to be as anonymous as possible. At most, it's relating it to a particular device. So if you found the device and scanned it, you'd know that that was the device that sent the signal. But beyond that, it's actively making an effort to hide who made it, where it was manufactured, the operator identification number, that sort of thing. And it doesn't seem to be waiting for a ping back. It's more of a ping out to go, hey, somebody who's listening on this frequency, hear this.
I can't think of anything else.
Me neither.
Tamir, it's a bridge.
Bridge here.
The power anomaly we experienced was a subspace pulse detected at extreme range coming from the planet Zua. It appears to be some sort of homing device or distress beacon. It was on a very low band. However, there was a message encoded in the subspace pulse. Dr. Magnus and I decoded the message. It appears to come from a Talarian Republic. The message reads: compromised. Cache compromised. Stop. Neutralize intruders. Stop. Require extraction. Stop. More thieves coming. End message. And then it repeats.
Are we sure it's a Talarian Republican in frequency?
The computer that is a high probability that the computer came up with.
And repeat the message one more time. Can you play back?
You could just send it to him.
I will forward the message to you on the bridge to your console.
Okay, this appears to be a call from help. A call for help from a foreign government.
That system's within Federation space, right?
Oh yeah, it's give you an idea where it is. It's like here. Like the whole Grazer sector or Andon sector is basically, except for the tiny bit more coreward from your station. So, no, go over there. There. So this whole sector is you guys. I came from this system.
Okay. Let's divert our course to that system and maximum warp. On the meantime, I want to get on the horn armed with the Talarian Republic. Let them.
Captain, if the Talarians are operating in Federation space, it is against certain treaties that we have in place.
Oh yeah, out of character. I forgot about that.
And also, Captain, they would be in violation of the Prime Directive. They would have to
working.
If they were operating
so close
Federation.
to
well, they would out of game. They would have to abide by Federation doctrine if they are conducting an operation in Federation space.
Yeah, and the listening post would be shouting that at them, going like, "Hey, stay away! If you try to breach this, we will stop you under Prime Directive, Starfleet, yada yada yada." Like, if someone didn't know, they'd be made aware.
Okay. First thing I want to do is talk to the listening post nearby. And then I want to determine if it would be a good idea to contact the Talarian Republic through official channels. Let them know, hey, you know that ship you have in Federation space? Yeah, we're on our way to rescue it. But first thing first, let's talk to our listening post.
We don't know if it's a ship or what exactly it is. Like, it probably is some sort of base of operation.
Probably some sort of base of operation, regardless, it's using Talarian in frequencies. So either it's run by the Talarian government, or it is, or they're just trying to fake us out. That's a distinct possibility. But yeah, helm set course to the signal source, maximum warp, ARP, operations. Let's get the listening posts on that system on channel.
As you come to a stop, turn, and then warp straight at them. What was the last order, sir? Sorry.
I want the listening posts of that system on screen.
Stand by.
I'm gonna leave the lab that I was helping Tamara in and go back to the work I was doing before.
Thank you, Doctor.
I am going to need a control engineering roll, difficulty of 3 to hail them from this distance without alerting the surface or other people in the area. If you want to just blast it, the surface probably won't hear you, but if there's any other ships in the area, they'll probably hear you.
Let's not blast if we don't have. Who's our engineer? Science. It's Rakia, isn't it? Is our engineer?
We're activating
She's the
Rikia.
transporter chief, but yeah, we could activate her. She does have technical expertise and a value.
Okay, let's
And she
do that.
would, if we activate her, she also gets an upgrade for today too.
All right. Let's go ahead and spend a resource to activate her. Or I want someone good at the off station. We're going to be communicating.
Oops. And after this roll, I'm going to get to you, Doctor, because I saw your message earlier, and that is becoming somewhat important. So yes, that is control engineering roll, difficulty 3, assisted by ships communications plus engineering.
That's not ominous at all.
Communications engineering for our ship.
Yeah.
Hold on one second. I'm gonna pick a talent.
While you ferret through talents, we can jump to Magnus real quick, as he's trying to do something that might become relevant. I'm gonna reread what you're saying.
I'm just treating it like I'm just treating the subspace thing like a frequency, and I just want to be able to scan it and start to repeat it either constructively or destructively, depending on what tactic we want to use.
You can give me instant engineering, difficulty 4, complication 2, assisted by ships communications plus security or communications engineering.
Can I, since I stated that I was going to do this pretty early in the episode, can I have the ship's modular laboratories configured to help on this?
Yeah, you could.
So I think that it does something.
It brings down you have the advantage of a modular laboratory designed for that purpose. So you can bring down the difficulty or bring down the complication.
Yeah, I'll bring down the. I have bold engineering, so I'll probably just bring down the difficulty as opposed to the complication. Will xenotechnology help here?
Yes, actually, now that I think about it more.
I'll spend 3 threat.
3 threat.
Rerolling 1 with bolt. It was, yeah, I brought it down to difficulty 3, so that should do it.
Oh, okay. I see the focus add. Thank you, Tamara. So you now have an ability to create a device. Either destructive, if it's in either case, if you activate it, if you when you make one, it will cost one escalation. But if you're trying to do it in a pinch, it'll cost you at least one opportunity to have them replicated and use up the resources of the ship to have one made and monitored to make sure it's not damaged or anything.
Okay, so I was thinking of something that was like a one-time build that would be attached to the ship. I don't know that it needs to be portable or anything, so I don't know why I would need to make more than one, unless I'm misunderstanding.
If you want, you could make it something that's somewhat permanent. If you want to attach it somewhere on the ship, you'd have to stop somewhere and have it attached via WorkBee or EVA systems. If you want it to be attached to, like, say, the deflector dish or somewhere in the saucer.
Is there a possibility to build like a prototype that we could use for now that has some limitation attached to it, and then later we could actually upgrade the communication system to have this functionality?
You could, yeah. That would make a future extended task roll easier because you kind of have a working prototype to go off of.
Okay, and the prototype won't require the ship to be stopped.
No, because you're kind of building it into, like, for prototype's sake, into a spare probe on the ship just to see balancing power systems and figure out how you can transmit without blowing out everything in the room.
Okay.
Hello.
And the idea was that you would tell it to either do one of the two, or do I need to build it so that if I'm building it, am I building it where I can tell it to do one or the other, or am I building it and it's only going to be able to do one or the other?
When you build it, it's one or the other. It's either going to do well. You could actually come. I'll wind back on that. You could probably program to do either or. It's just easier to purpose build it for one thing or the other. But you can have it built because future tech to be able to program it back and forth.
Yeah, I want to program it to be back and forth, because it's not like I don't have any intention of using this device, so building one with the decision already made makes no sense. I'm building this so other people can use it.
Okay. So in effect, you have a long-standing advantage for any future extended task related to building a more permanent fixture.
And that's a cost of 2 momentum and a threat, or what, to use it?
If you're going to use it, like, say, this episode, like you're using the prototype, it will cost. I'll just charge you one escalation, just because you're kind of throwing a prototype out there and hoping it doesn't break anything. It shouldn't, and your theory says it shouldn't. But that's kind of you usually want to have that tested safely in a base first, or to go at full stop and do some testing. But if you install it later, it wouldn't cost anything. It would just be a feature of the ship because it'd be built into the systems and it'd have backups set up in it and all that. If that makes sense.
Okay.
I believe Reika was going to try to hail the listening post without giving away your position.
What's the difficulty?
Difficulty is 3, I believe.
Would I be able to use a direct action to assist?
You could, yeah.
Okay. And what's the ship assisting with? Communications engineering?
I believe that's correct. I should have wrote that down. It's my bad. Communications engineering, yep.
Okay.
May I use a focusing composure?
I'm going to say no in this case. You're not really under the gun at the moment.
Focus in subspace communications?
Yes.
So I add it for this task and be like, no.
I wanted to ask real quick what we were doing.
We are hailing the listening post in the system, and we're going to talk to them and let them know that we're coming in. There's possibly a Talarian radio in the system, and if they knew anything about it, and if they had any resources available to help us with rescue operations.
And the difficulty has been increased because you're trying to narrow it so only they can hear you, rather than just blasting it, and then anyone who happens to be listening with a subspace transceiver might go,
And
there's a ship healing.
This is this what's the difficulty?
3 currently.
Cause I think it might be helpful. I can. Oh, is it a main character that's rolling?
No.
It's Rika at the moment.
Oh, never
Rika,
mind.
that's rolling. I'm assisting.
I could only help if it was a main character, so never mind.
I'm assuming I'm assisting with presence command, and I don't have any focus that could help.
That sounds right.
All right.
Oh, I see what you were saying, Magnus. I was trying to think what you were talking about.
Yeah,
oh,
I
right,
could have created an advantage for them, but it would have required one of them to be making the roll.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So 2 momentum gained. This is Listening Post Samutsa. This is Artemis. What's going on?
Yes, Moose. And so this is Artemis Command, and Commander Ray speaking. We just picked up a subspace burst signal coming from your system. It appears to be a Talarian in origin. And do you have any records of a Talarian in listening post to Starship in the area?
No, it's just been us for, the last year. We've told a couple of freighters to turn around, but nothing Talarian.
Okay, we will be making our way into your system. If there's any special procedures we need to be following, to conform with if the Prime Directive, please forward that to us. We will keep you apprised of the situation.
Of course, we'll send along a data packet to you now. Artemis, why is this on a coded frequency? And he sends, and then the ops person nods to indicate that they got the message, the data from the listening post.
We didn't want to alert the natives of the sector, and also because as the frequency was Talarian in nature, we didn't want to alarm anyone of a possible interstellar incident. So we're playing our cards close to our chest at this.
All right, Artemis. When do you expect to be in the system?
ETA 15 hours.
All right. We'll keep an eye out for you then.
Also, if you could send any relevant sensor data for the past 3 months, we could start combing over that to see if there's any possible origin of the radio signal.
Sure. Stand by. Okay, it should be coming down the signal now. Ops nods.
Thank you. Artemis out. I want to send the sensor information down to Tamira. Bridge to science labs.
Yes, Captain.
I just got in contact with the listening host, and they forwarded us 3 months of sensor or data. If you could look over that to find any possible anomalies that could be a Talarian ship, it'll at least give us a heads up on what's going on.
Acknowledged, Captain. GM.
Yes. Well, we're going to bring that complication up to 3. Whoops, I have the wrong thing selected. Let's try that again.
Being mean.
Yeah, I'm going to call this a reason plus science, difficulty 2, comp 3, assisted by ships, computers plus engineering, science.
Computer science.
Acronyms work better. Abbreviations work better if they make more sense.
Computers or sensor operations for a focus.
So, for my benefit, what exactly is this for also, so that I get...
This is to see if they're looking over the data that the listening post had, the sensor data when they scanned the planet, as they've been monitoring it for the last while.
Then yeah, I'll spend 2 momentum, and Talara can have an advantage that they have a useful data sifter that was accidentally left in the lab. It's just sitting there conveniently. And that's 2 momentum, and you can use that as...
That will coincidentally give you an extra question by the look of things, because you kind of crushed that.
So it's 3 momentum, 2 spent.
Oh, if you already rolled it, then it doesn't make any sense, because that would have only helped you with like reducing difficulty or complication.
But if it did reduce the difficulty, you'd get 1 more success.
Oh yeah.
There's a way to look at it.
For the cost of 2 momentum.
So there's it was difficulty 2,
True.
2 spent, 1 because I didn't spend any momentum. There's 1 floating. If my math's right. It's simple math, like.
And but yeah, Dr. Maddox has an ability. He can happen to have it made a cool gadget to help you with a check. It just has to be something that's where a device could assist with it, like a gadget. Then he doesn't have to be there to give it to you. He just has to spend 2 momentum, and it can be there. Is it once per scene? I said to you. Once per mission?
Let me read the talent. I have it on my sheet. At the start of any engineering task involving non-standard... Oh, no. So never mind, I couldn't have done it anyways, because it doesn't involve non-standard technology. So, yeah. I missed that part.
So 2 float.
But no, it's not... It doesn't have anything to do with, like, per scene or per episode. It's limited by...
Oh, by momentum.
And the non-standard technology.
Right.
So 2 float.
2 float.
Well, Lieutenant Commander, you can spend those as how you see fit.
Uh-oh. Advantage. I'm the captain now. No, that's not how that works.
Nope.
I call out to the anomaly. I am now captain.
Nope.
Vetoed. There we go.
I already play a captain. I got an awesome ship. It's okay.
It's not that awesome. Artemis is better. So's the Argo. The Terrascova, not so much. It can be better than the Terrascova. I know. Pull this out so it's easier to read. There we go. Put that in the map layer so you can see it better.
Look, Ma, it's a planet.
I did pull up some info, right? I did. Okay. I was going to feel very silly if I didn't. So that's the most of the planet, and actually, there's some extra data that you get that wasn't sent to you right away, I don't think. Most of the population. I'll choose a better marker. It's there. And they tend to move around that central mountainous region.
They're nomadic?
Yep. Sometimes they go close to the ocean, but for the large portion of them stay pretty close to the mountain. And according to the sensor data, there is a weird energy signature coming from here on this continent. But they weren't sure quite what it was. Actually, in the notes, it doesn't look like they even marked it at all. You notice it because you were looking for something. There's a lot of notes about these guys, like, hey, they use this tool, they use that tool, they use this vehicle, they found this thing. There was certain geological events, like there was a tidal wave at a certain point, but they don't talk about, this continent doesn't get talked about much, if at all.
Interesting that the humanoid race is isolated to one continent and even just one specific reason. But that's something for another scientist.
Do they have like the ability, like radio waves, or be able to essentially use radar?
Yep. They're pre-warped to the point that for whatever reason there's not enough of them, and they're not organized enough to develop any sort of space program, but they've slowly discovered a lot of tech on their world, and they've educated themselves on the use. So they have a lot of high tech, but they don't really understand it very well. So they do have the capacity to read into the radio and lower subspace bands, although they might not fully understand what exactly they're looking at. Like, instead of having like a whole army of people who would know about a thing, they have like 100 at most people, or the whole society, and they're all looking at different things.
Was there any survey missions done to allude to what sort of tech that was left upon that world? It sounds like they're scavenging technology from other races that have come before.
It's theorized. It's theorized that the tech was a precursor civilization of the world, and they ran into some sort of cataclysm that the Listening Post scientists haven't really figured out what happened. They just know that some event happened, the population was reduced drastically, and when it was found by a ship about in the motion picture era, to put it that way, someone went out here, saw them, found them, and said, well, they have a bunch of tech, but they're not warp capable, and they don't have any central government to talk about. But they seem to know enough about the tech that they could be. If you gave them a piece of tech, they'd probably figure it out. As a species, they're good at xenotechnology and reverse engineering, because that's largely what their scientific advances are. It's finding old tech and then rediscovering how it works, or guessing correctly.
The anomalous energy source, was there a timetable when it was detected? Like when it first appeared?
3 months ago. I spelled anomalous wrong, but okay.
So right at the beginning of the sensor packet we received, or is like a few days later? Then here's
They sent you a full year's worth because that doesn't take out that much data for them. They didn't bother sending you further back because they figured you wouldn't need that much information. But it's like the year that should cover anything they'd want to know because the assumption from their end is that you're curious about the society and the geological stuff. They don't really seem to. The notes kind of mentioned that in passing once, and then like not like this continent, not this signature. They mentioned the continent in some of its geological interests, and certain cultural notes, but for the most part, they've been focused on these guys moving around this mountain. Since that seems to be their current focus this past year, is scavenging stuff from there.
okay. That makes
So real quick, the anomalous energy reading, is it similar to a certain other anomalous energy signature that's nearby?
For a question or momentum, I'll answer.
I should
I think
still
you have,
have 2 left.
Yeah. It is similar, yes.
Okay. Any other life forms detected? I'm assuming because the atmosphere is very thin, the animal life as well as plant life is reduced. The system is more like plants more like a class L at this point.
I'm inclined to agree with you. I'm double checking my classes real quick. Not class I. Try again. There you go. Yeah, I'd agree with that assessment.
so. Will we need EVA suits or at least breathing apparatus?
You'd need some sort of breathing apparatus.
Yeah, we'll need some sort of breathing apparatus. Essentially, okay, so the planet's actually small in size, 4,000-mile radius. It's very thin atmosphere, which is typical of a class L. It's mostly 40% water. There's only probably about 10,000 of indigenous population on the planet. The ominous signature, from what I'm thinking of, it's kind of similar to the one that's on Andon's Landing, which piques Tamir's interest quite well.
Wait. That energy signature is similar to the anomaly we found on
GM, and that was kind of my question.
Mm-hmm.
So okay. Okay.
Yet another planet I have to classify.
The Talarians are there, so what are our reasons to get them off? Yeah, Tamir's gonna go to the bridge upon finding this information. Kind of want to save the momentum we have.
As you're heading to the bridge, Ray, you wanted to ask something legally speaking?
Yeah, I want to look over the legalese text of I found evidence of an not friendly alien culture working within Federation space. How am I supposed to handle this? Who do I have to call?
I'll let you create an advantage here to kind of have your legal ducks in a row. Since you have a few hours, I'm not going to make you do insight. It's going to be reason plus con, difficulty 2, assisted by ship's computers plus con.
Focus in interstellar law.
Yeah, I think that applies for some reason.
Diffuse the tension and trying not to resort to violence on this situation.
I'm going to say no, because diffuse tension's for when you're in a social encounter.
And that was honestly a stretch. Okay.
Yeah, good try though.
Assisted by computers, what?
Con.
Computers con?
Yes. Oof. Stretch. Ow.
Okay.
I do have one float lying around. Do you want to ask anything in particular? Right now, you basically have the advantage. Read up on laws regarding, Federation laws.
Federation laws regarding contact with the Tellurian Republic.
So you essentially have one free question to ask because you have one float lying around.
Okay. Hey, are there any situations whatsoever where a Tellurian ship would be in Federation space, or is there any rules in the treaty to allow for trade, civilian vessels, or scientific endeavors?
Yeah, you have it right. Anything that's civil grade or trade grade is allowed in Federation space. They just declare they're here by basically broadcasting and saying, hey, we're here. Here's what our frequencies are when we're broadcasting. Anything that's armed has to be approved in advance by Starfleet Command, and they have to have a good reason to be coming in. Sometimes it's to escort a ship, but usually Starfleet will say, we'll escort them for you. Don't worry, they won't get attacked by us. Or they travel under their own merit. Most civil freighters have like a phaser array. They're not allowed torpedoes for legal reasons. It prevents them from becoming pirates. It's hard to be a pirate when you lack photons.
Yep.
But yeah, it's totally fine for Tellurian Republic to come into Federation space. Federation has no problem with civil ships coming in and going.
Okay.
But if they're doing anything like, say, coming to a planet like this, they need to get approval from the Federation Science Council. They need approval from Starfleet. Federation Council might have a question or two. There's a whole process to engaging in pre-warp study, but they don't mind if someone not of the Federation does it.
Yeah, I can understand that. Are there any records of civilian or scientific vessels from the Tellurian Republic coming to this sector
No,
within the past year?
no,
No record.
no.
At least no public record.
Yes.
Okay, so we're probably dealing with a covert military ship.
You can give me insight engineering, difficulty of 1. As Tamira walks onto the bridge.
I think that's a reasonable only exception, but yeah, I'll make that roll. Assist by ship.
No, this is off the top of your head.
Okay. Focus in tactics, thinking in long term of how the Tellurians might be doing
I
things.
apologize. It's insight engineering or insight con, because con revolves around recognizing ships as well. I don't know if that's any better for you.
It's equal for me.
Okay.
So I got the focus there. I'm actually gonna spend a momentum.
Okay.
For an extra dice.
You rebel.
As I just blow that out of the fucking water.
Off the top of your head, you recall that the Tellurian Republic, technologically, are way behind the Federation. Way behind. Cloaking technology isn't even on their radar, so to speak. To give you an idea, if they had a covert ship would be something that has very low energy signature. If you're familiar with, as you recall, with the Victoria's system, is about making yourself as little a hole as possible. But even that is a feat of engineering, because you need to make a very hot ship appear cold in space, and that takes a lot of effort.
Which also means aims that probably not high warp systems.
Like, where's their tech thing here? Yeah, they're using like neutral particle weapons, high energy X-ray lasers, Merculite rockets. Like,
oh goodness,
like they are way behind Starfleet. They have a few advances because of the Cardassians from time to time, but if they did try to do stealth, they'd probably be detected by any number of listening posts on the way in. In theory, that's what's known on the record off the top of your head. If it is covert, it wouldn't be Tellurian tech that did it. They'd need Klingon or Romulan tech to be able to pull it off.
One of my floating aim momentum. Can I see if the Tellurian Republic has any relationship with Klingon, Romulan, or Cardassians. Are they amicable, trading tech? Could
They
be
do.
working.
For that, I'll tell you that they do trade with the Cardassians. They don't trade with the Romulans very much, just because they're although they've started to now since the war ended. Like they became allies late in the war, so they started trading with them too, and the Klingons as well. But usually when they traded, they had the Federation was kind of the go-between. There's
Since
not the only direct contact was with the Cardassians until they joined the Dominion, and then they stopped trading with them. They started trading with them now because of the Treaty of Azure. Although they
So-
have the upper hand right now because they have an empire that isn't in shambles at the moment.
So the Tellurians were neutral in the Dominion War.
They were on the Federation side, sorta, kinda, in that they'd rather the Federation won than the Dominion winning. But not like their contribution would have mattered beyond trade. And they got attacked by the Cardassians quite a bit during the war. So they're trading with them now, but, because they don't hold any grudges, they're very militaristic, so they don't really hold a whole lot of, well, I mean, of course you tried to conquer us. That's what we would do. We had the tech
Okay.
you did.
Fascinating. Tamara. Any luck on those sensor logs?
Indeed, Captain. I suggest we increase speed to maximum warp to get there as soon as possible. There is an anomaly on the surface of that planet.
Pause. Anomaly.
One quite similar to the
in-
one that's found on Andon's Landing.
All right.
In my
Um,
research on the anomaly, I suspect that there are multiple gateways that are all interconnected. This could be one of them.
I see. Helm increased to maximum warp. Actually, I thought I already gave the order for maximum warp.
You had.
Okay.
And actually, the con guy will comment to Tamara. Actually, Lieutenant Commander, we're moving at maximum right now. I could try to push it a little harder, but we risk melting some of the safeties.
We'll get there in 14 hours. Is that enough time for you, or should we push it? In your professional opinion.
Time is always of the essence, though. I would not want to put the ship in any danger than it already is.
I'll say let's continue you at present speed and get a sensor lock on the anomaly as soon as we can. If we detect any changes, we'll push it. Agreeable?
It is your ship, Captain. I am merely following your orders.
But yes. Anything else you're doing before you arrive in system?
As soon as we're in even like long range and sensor range, I want to do a scan of the system, see if there's any ships in the solar system itself.
Have I finished with my building of the device?
Yeah, you would have by now.
Okay, then I'll arrive on the bridge, and if the commander doesn't look, I guess commander's doing stuff right.
He's sitting in his chair waiting. It's a over 10-hour trip, so.
Then I walk up to him and hand him a pad. Here's your solution to the screamers.
I didn't expect you to finish this so quickly. I look over the specs.
Neither did I. You have two choices basically. You have a probe, and it can either make anyone in this local sector of space completely unable to communicate, or it can undo the effects that the screamers have on subspace.
I would prefer the undo the effects, because the effects the screamers have is to dampen and subspace communication, and if we replace that with our own method of dampening subspace communication, then we just say
this doesn't dampen. This is more this offensive method is much more violent than that. It's going to increase whatever they're doing by 100%.
I would prefer not doing that, and let's just neutralize as their effectiveness.
Both options are on the table. It can do both.
Well, let's focus on the non-violent option. And for now, what's the effective range of each of these probes?
I have no idea on that. What's the effective range?
Well, whoops, that's not what I meant to do. No, go away. Shoo, I did not mean to duplicate you. Come back. I'll fix you later. In essence, if you were to place one, say, here, oops, nope, that won't help you see it. This will help you see it. No, not that small. Ah, silly thing. It'd basically be all these surrounding sectors. If you placed it here.
So we're gonna need a couple dozen of them to secure the border.
If we were trying to, so if we were trying to do either the more offensive or defensive method, we could send the probe to the area that is trying to bombard us and silence them or cause them problems. Not silence them, but prevent them from disrupting our communications or cause them more problems. If you use it in an offensive manner, it's going to make it more difficult for anyone anyone who's doing that to request assistance.
Yeah, and they're already using the scream to prevent their victims from calling out for assistance.
No,
so...
I'm saying you could use that to prevent them from calling out for assistance.
Oh, I see. Okay, prevent the scream from getting any distress signals out.
Yeah, because it basically has two modes. One mode is it cancels out the subspace interference, and the other mode is it just intensifies it. So it depends on what you want to do.
We will table that discussion for later. I'm gonna have a feeling that we're gonna need the station and its hope of manufacturing all these probes.
Oh, fudge. I actually need that. Anything else you wish to do before you approach the system?
Doctor, do you think it's possible to create psionic dampening fields? Did I come through?
I heard it.
Are you trying to talk to me?
Yes.
Oh, you're gonna have to give me a second. I got pizza guy.
Oh. Timing. Where in the fuck? I just had it. I was just
Belay that. I got the pizza guy situated.
Yeah.
Doctor, do you believe it's possible to create a device that could nullify psychic abilities?
Maybe? Certainly our grandkids or great-grandkids could do that. Whether or not I can, I would have to look into it.
It might come in handy in the next 13 hours, 37 minutes, and 15 seconds.
I agree with the lieutenant commander.
Well, if you have wandering beta Zeds, it could become useful much sooner than that.
Ahem.
I look towards the commander. I kind of lean in closely. No offense. I mean, you know, and I just kind of trail off, just mumbling.
Yes, I would like you to work on psionic disruptors if this is indeed another anomaly. We want to get this under control as quickly as possible.
So, Dr. Magnus. There we go. Are you going to try to build that or? Pizza guy?
This time I was getting the pizza. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'm gonna look into it. My guess is probably that I want to come up with some kind of helmet or maybe like a device that you attach to yourself that uses. I'm thinking like maintains a balance of neurochemicals, so that if neurochemicals start getting out of balance in your mind, then it tries to restore the balance. I think that should do it. That's basically addressing the mind problem on a physical level instead of trying to get into all the... Well, I don't even really know what it is to get into. The psionic stuff.
Essentially giving the person who has the device an advantage to help maybe reduce the difficulty of trying to resist a mental attack. Game mechanics wise. I'm presuming, right?
Who knows? Maybe he wants to give them the ability to attack someone. Yeah.
No, because that would be an entirely different, like... I'd have to come at it from an entirely different direction for that. I mean, so I really don't need a roll to do this already, because if y'all start getting mind controlled or someone starts doing that, I can already... My special ability would allow me to help you get an advantage in this situation. So
That's kind of like a heads up. But you can roll to try to create an advantage in advance. The ability is one of those things where you're like, oh shoot, I didn't do the thing. Well, I did the thing.
I guess
You already have the device.
It could allow me to stack advantages. Yeah, sure. I'll do what I said. What I described.
Do the thing.
Daring engineering. I'm gonna hang on to my threat. We're gonna make it difficulty 2. To kind of create this device that will help someone out in a, at least on the short term.
I am quite uncomfortable with this. This was like I'm stuffing in cotton balls in my ears, but okay.
No, you're just attaching yourself to a device which has the ability to force your brain to put out all kinds of chemicals. Basically making psionic attacks somewhat nullified, but, electronic attacks, on the other hand, super effective. If anyone has a good radio and a couple of dials, they could probably just kill you.
We are creating a tinfoil hat.
You're creating a tinfoil hat that has like a gun pointed to your head.
Don't mind the hyperspray pressed against your skull. It's supposed to be there.
Like a tinfoil hat, but made out of like tinfoil plated C4.
I mean, that sounds like a much higher complication. Hold on.
This is not making me feel any more comfortable.
Can I get... Oh, I was gonna see if I could get 3 into practice, but I think that would have been a different episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lab Rat's not gonna help. Either is Miracle Worker. So we're just on bold engineering. What was the role? Daring engineering. If I say that I am working from some captured Cardassian interrogation devices, can I use reverse engineering or xenotechnology?
Sure, to increase complication.
Yeah, we just won't tell anybody that they're basically putting a mind control device on their head. I'll go ahead and take 3 threat.
Sure.
I'm gonna re-roll the complication with bold. Yeah. Also, all of that was all like internal monologue, so no one knows that this is super unsafe and you shouldn't use it. And it doesn't. I don't think it has to be a helmet. It just has to be like a little device, like you put on your arm or something, like a little box. I could do circlet.
It hums menacingly when turned on.
Did I actually have to go to a lab for that, or could I just like step over to a replicator?
You stepped over to a replicator and walked the replicator through what you wanted. Because the replicator wouldn't know what you were talking about if you just said, build me a this. Don't know what that is.
Whispered on the parts that involved hyposprays and neurochemicals. That was whispered to the replicator. And I'll come back and I'll hand Commander Ray, like, I guess a standard away team is 4 people, so I'll hand him 4 little rings, about head sized. These should definitely stop anyone from influencing your mind, if that's what you're worried about. I would advise just a little bit of caution. Don't wander too close to any old radio sets. Like, I'm talking like pre 2000, 2100 radio sets. As long as you avoid those, this is a great device.
How do I, as a Beta Z and an empath, feel about this?
Are you reading me?
Huh? No, I'm asking the GM. How do I culturally feel about such a device?
It's like someone putting on earmuffs to make sure you can't shout at them, or someone just putting a mouthpiece over a mask over their face to muffle how loud they can talk.
I definitely did not think about how this would work on Vulcans or Beta Zs. I didn't take that into consideration at all.
Thankfully, you didn't roll the complication by, so somehow you managed not to make it worse for so far.
I am learning that this character is like the embodiment of the law of unintended consequences.
But yeah, that's the psychic bit of it. It's like someone who's wearing sunglasses and that sort of thing. So it's not quite that weird. It's just, people develop ways to protect themselves from various sources of information. It'd be considered unnecessary on Beta Z. Completely unnecessary.
It would be considered rude on Beta Z.
Yeah, like, wow, what do you have to hide? Jeez. Any other crazy preparations?
I've done my legalese stuff. I do want to, basically, since I know that this is in reference to not only interstellar or community event with having the Solarians in Federation space, but also now, hey, there might be an anomaly on that planet. I'm gonna classify all the sensor information from here on out until further notice.
Give me I'm gonna say Control Command difficulty 2. You're setting up the advantage of having that highly classified and having all your ducks in a row.
Focus on interstellar law.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. Yeah, you got it. And you have 1 float, but I don't think there's anything particular you can use it for.
Could I use that to send an encrypted communique to Starfleet Command and basically inform them just very briefly of the situation?
For that 1 float plus one of the momentum you have, bringing you down to 5 to create an additional advantage.
Yeah, just like heads up, Starfleet, we're doing this shit.
Okay.
If you hear screaming, it's probably us and we're in trouble.
Okay.
FBI, we might die. Accurate.
All right, we're gonna move on to the next scene. So we're gonna have 1 momentum.
We spent all that time building up like 12 momentum.
And you start approaching the system and the planet. Actually, the listening post is quite some distance away from the planet, so they can't just look up and see them. So you kind of warp where they are. They send you a signal acknowledging that they see you. They give you what frequencies you need to. Basically, they're giving you the advantage of how to avoid the planet detecting you.
Okay.
But all of you can roll for me insight security. Opposed. One of you might might see something that the others don't.
Focus
Jeez, God.
in tactics, composure, cultural studies.
I'll give you tactics.
Ick.
Anyone else want to risk the insight security train?
Yeah, I'm just looking for how I can not suck at this roll. But focuses are out the door because I have a security of 1.
Even with increased complication? Oh.
So is it in any way related to anything I've done this episode, so that testing a theory would come into play? Any kind of
No,
okay.
unfortunately.
Since Tamir is monitoring the sensors, could I persuade you that she's using science instead?
I'll give it to you, yeah.
Sensor ops for focus?
Oh,
Yeah, I'll give it to you.
What's the difficulty?
Opposed.
Take a threat.
Sure.
Can I spend 2 momentum to create an advantage that I recently read a book on infiltration or something like that?
If you want to spend 2 momentum, sure.
Would it allow me to would the advantage allow me to reduce the difficulty?
It would be yeah, in a sense. If it basically gives them one more hit they need to get to beat you.
Okay, then I'll do that. I'll spend the 2 momentum.
Ooh, Tamara made my life harder, and you're making it hard too. No. Oh wow, that's expensive. They're not that good at this. Well, I'll buy a die. No, they don't care that much.
I've also been perusing the wiki page, and I just found some tactical information on the Tellurian. How meta would it be for me to know this?
This is all information you could pick up. You've probably briefed yourself on Tellurians in general.
Okay, so I know that they have a habit of booby trapping and self-destructing their observation ships.
I don't know why you think that. I mean,
They have a history of doing it.
I know it's kind of worrying, isn't it? But yeah, no, you can know that because it'd be public. I wouldn't say public knowledge, but it'd be part of the briefing for your sector. They'd want you to know what the Tellurians are like.
Tellurians are used to blowing up their own ships. Gee, thanks. This
No
makes it just so
wonder
much
they're
better.
so behind technologically.
I know, they keep blowing up their own ships.
Did we get any momentum from that, by the way?
No, you met them, Tamara in particular. You're the only one who even got close to it.
Out of 5 successes? Good grief.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
It went to one of their focuses, so I nailed it twice, and then I hit it in the third one.
They rolled so well as well.
Mm-hmm.
As well.
Captain, I'm getting enough false readings from the station. They're not sending off proper Starfleet authentication tags.
Interesting. Let's hail them again.
Channel open.
Listening post. Oh, this is the Starship Artemis. As we had some complications with your or message you just sent us. Can you resend? And I'm trying to maintain my composure, make sure that they don't know that we know what they know.
Captain, I would advise we raise shields. Starfleet procedure, blah blah blah, indicates when unintentional
Communications have not been established. Yeah, take us to red alert, yellow alert. Tamara, analyze that data again. The new packet they sent us.
Does my studious come into effect for a free question?
I'd say so, yeah, since you used the sensor.
Actually, did the ship help at all with that?
Not really. You picked up the ship didn't clue in. Like it fooled the computer, but it didn't fool a thinking mind that was. Wait a minute.
The sensor readings. What sort of life forms are on the listening post currently?
Looks to be all humans. Well, there's not a ton. It's a listening post, so
15.
$12 people. And they're all humans.
How does that compare to the roster we know of the listening posts in Federation database?
You can give me reason security or reason con difficulty 1. Assisted by computers plus security or con.
Reason security?
Yeah, I'll give it to you.
Control security?
No. Yeah, you're reasoning out the records. Making sure they're up to date, that they're the correct ones, so on. It's only difficulty 1, so I believe in you.
Yeah, this isn't a good role for me. I'm not sure if I'm gonna have any focuses for it.
Do I get my other free question?
Sure.
And here I was all worried.
2 momentum, thankfully. Yeah, I can just deal them. What am I doing? Derp. Before I answer the captain, what was your next question, Tamara?
Does the station have any outwards damage to it, or looks like there's any forced entry to the airlocks?
Yes. Specifically, damage to the outer airlocks.
Captain, it's quite possible this station was boarded recently.
And to reinforce that, Captain, you notice that there's some aliens on there. There's some other alien races that aren't normally that you don't run into all that often. It wasn't an all-human station. Very few places are.
That's kind of what I was thinking. I agree, Tamara. I think we should divert to the listening post. On the how far out are we from the listening post?
You're about medium range or so.
Okay.
So you're within. You can easily see it within sensors. You're kind of passing by it.
I want to do.
Or you were passing by it on the way to the planet.
I will let you do a sensor sweep on the outpost, like
do it.
Scan.
Reason science, difficulty 1. System by ship's sensor science.
Sensor ops for focus.
Yeah. For some reason that applies.
Take a threat.
Sure.
You have 1 float.
You do an in-depth scan of the list. It's a rather small installation. Minimal shielding, minimal phaser power, mainly just not for fighting people off. It's more for shooting the stray asteroid, that sort of thing. That's bigger than the shields can handle. Quarters, a generator, a strange energy signature that isn't standard for listening posts. And also, it would seem that in response to your scan, that there seems to be an overload in the central reactor.
Captain, their reactor is overloading. Science question ETA on the overload.
One moment. If I can type, for the love of... Well, it doesn't blow up right away. That's good news. Oh, my brain can't do simple math. Uh, 90 minutes.
Are there shields up?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
As part of that free question, can I get the shield frequency?
That would be an advantage.
Right. I want to. Okay. I had 1 float, so I had 3 questions. I'll spend a momentum and the float to have the advantage that we had the shield frequency.
Sure.
Should have 1 question left.
Location of the life forms on the station.
They all seem to be centralized to one of the cargo areas.
Okay, so it shouldn't be too hard to beam them all up. Red alert, divert course to the station, and yeah, take us there as fast as reasonable possible.
Captain, I recommend we beam an away team over to stop the listening post from exploding. More than likely, the indigenous population would see the explosion from space. We'll see the explosion on the surface of the planet.
I'm aware. I'm also aware that at the Tellarians and might still be in the area. Let's get a away team over there. Let's also get a transport lock on all the life signs in the cargo bay and beam them to beam into our own cargo bay. A set security teams aims down there just in case, as they're not all human.
They could be mirror universe. Dun, dun, dun. So I guess we're transporting them, the people that are on board, off first.
Well, cool.
If we can.
I like your optimism. It's going to cost you 1 power. And you're bringing them to the. Where are you bringing them to on your ship?
I want to beam them. Probably not to the brig directly, but let's beam them to like a cargo bay or transporter room.
I
But
would
have 30
was said straight to the brig, because if you beam them to the cargo
straight
bay,
to.
that gives them access to parts of the ship pretty quickly.
Okay, let's beam them to the cargo bay, and we'll sort them out later.
You mean the brig?
Brig. Yeah, that's what I meant. Beam them to the
Space.
brig. No.
Oh, it almost worked. That is currently a difficulty of 3, because presumably someone, unless you're, I'm assuming you're getting someone in the transporter room to do the beaming.
Yeah, Reika will head down there since she's technically the transporter room specialist.
And I also want. Who's gonna be on the team beaming over?
That's a good question, Captain.
Since there's anomalous energy signature, or I want Tamara over there. We also want engineering crew.
Oops, that doesn't help you. No.
Transporters, replicators for focus.
Yes. So she's going over at least.
And then the
Spending
ship.
one moment.
Dr. Marcus, do you have any expertise that could be used over there?
I kind of just look around for a second, like I'm looking for somebody. Sir, I don't think there's a Dr. Marcus here.
Magnus.
There you go.
Sorry.
The needs of the service. I can assist if you need me to.
How are you with emergency repairs?
I have a doctorate of engineering. There's pretty much nothing I can't fix or solve. Unless unless it has to do with very specific Klingon medical technology. But other than that, I can.
I doubt you're gonna run into Klingon hyperspace. And he's over there. I want you and Tamara
Can't we just
on
spend
our away team.
the momentum to get an engineering team?
Yeah, for one momentum, you can have the team advantage, as I recall.
Yeah, that
Okay.
way we don't have to spend crew support. Because I
Okay,
think
that
it
works.
would be better to send one of the tactical officers over and then have the engineering team.
The engineer team as a bonus. Okay, that works.
And maybe security team. But
Which is 1 momentum and 1 threat.
I would advise the security team because they give you an advantage during
Security
combat.
security team and engineering team. I also want medical personnel to the brig.
It's almost
all
like
the
we
thing.
need a doctor.
I know, right?
You do have a doctor. Wait.
We don't.
So, are we going to a place where we think the headbands would be necessary?
Maybe.
Okay, then I hand one out. I kind of go to take the circlets from the commander. I'll be needing those.
I agree.
And I hand them all to Tamira. You and the other team members might need these.
What about you, doctor?
Well, I only made 4.
I suggest it be prudent that you wear a doctor. I've had experience with the anomaly, and I've so far had positive experience with it. I should be fine on my own.
I agree with the Lieutenant Commander. Doctor, you take a headband.
I take it. I don't put it on yet, but I take it.
Well, time's a wasting. Get to the transporter room.
We don't have Telsa, so we only have track. But we get to add something.
So yeah, it's a presence medicine difficulty 2, or it'll cost you 1 momentum to have a medical team be deployed on board ship.
To spend the momentum.
Yeah, let's just spend the.
Because presumably they'll be, they don't need to do any rolls. You just need to be providing medical assistance.
You know, we could make the argument to give track the use of a Type 3 phaser.
Why does he only have a Type 1?
Anyone below command rank or senior officer rank usually walk Type 1s unless it's for Type 2. Usually on away missions. And Type 3s you can authorize, just again, as long as Chief of Security or a senior officer approves it.
I took a Type 1 because of the hidden 1 quality, and because the difference between 4 challenge dice and 3 challenge dice is not very much.
For this particular air mission, if we're activating track, I'll authorize him for Type 3. If we want to activate him, have we activated him?
Not yet this session, but we have the crew support for it still, so.
Let's activate him and put him on the listening post with you guys.
Give him a Type 3.
That was also a thing.
Maybe he doesn't want to. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't like the guy, wants him to die. I do. I don't like him. He's a jerk.
He's getting a Type 3.
Oh, fine.
What are you complaining? You get a threat.
I do. Cost you 1 momentum and got me 2 threat.
That was escalation 1.
You sure about that? For a phaser rifle?
Double check.
Page 193. Opportunity 1, escalation 2.
Yeah. Oh, I'm thinking.
Heavy blade gives escalation 1.
Yeah, I'm thinking the heavy blade.
Do you still want the Type 3 on that note?
It's one momentum, 2 threat,
Yep.
leaving us with 1 and 10.
Put it up to 12.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I was waiting on that. I didn't want to fire it, but it's like, oh, hold on, just to be fair. So
Rule-wise, I don't think Type 3 gives you much more than Type 2 does, because Type 2 already has the charred.
The accurate qualities, which allows you to reroll all your dice pool.
Oh, yeah, there's that.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a talent for most people. I moved you out here so I could see you easier.
Okay. Yep, security team, beam down, and we'll oscillate the shields really quickly.
We're going to pick this up next. No, I'm just kidding. It's going to be a roll. It's going to involve dice.
Transporter.
Yeah.
Control engineering by the ship sensors engineering. Be difficulty base 3.
We're going to call that complication 3.
So
As you're beaming through the shields.
Right.
with the amount of people you have.
Reika's gonna spend her determination precise to a fault.
You would.
I definitely would. And she's gonna roll 2.
Ah.
That's still 3 dice and only 1 success. Her odds are pretty good. Very good. I just need the ship.
Sounds daring.
Yep. Got yourself a momentum. As the team beams over into the listening post.
And as they're air beaming over, I want a general sensor sweep of the entire system. Are there any other artificial structures in the immediate system?
No. You're the 2 artificial structures out here. There's not even satellites over the planet. They are pre-warp, but again, there's only tens of thousands of them. They haven't really shot anything up in the air.
Okay. Just covering my bases.
So if you get fired, you know it's not your fault.
We beamed into the engineering room.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's where I want you to beam into.
Actually, why am I making this hard on myself? Do this. There. I should probably put this where you can see it. That'd be more helpful. So you're in the reactor room. You hear an ominous roaring hum coming from the reactor system.
Security teams, please take station. Doctor, could you please help deactivate this reactor before it overloads and kills all of us?
So what am I seeing?
You're seeing a very cramped room, especially with all you people in it. And you're seeing what looks to be imagine a warp core, but it's a lot smaller. It's more like what the ship would have as a secondary reactor. It's only powering something the size. It's the sort of thing you'd power a shuttle with or something like that. And it looks like it's just overloading.
Does it have a terminal? Can I find a terminal that looks like it accesses this?
Yes.
I want to try to basically scram it, like make it inert. Because I'm sure there's some built-in protocol that's supposed to help handle these situations. I'm going to see if I can activate that.
Well, what you're looking at is an extended task. And that sounds like a daring thing you're trying to do for comparison.
Can an argument be made that we're inside one of the labs on the ship?
No, you're in the engineering bay equivalent. We'll knock down this a bit because it's a smaller thing.
Commander, because it's an extended task, it would be helpful if we cut this section of the ship out and shipped it back to the Artemis.
No.
I believe there's not enough time for that. And more likely will result in the destruction of the outpost and the Artemis.
And actually, to give you an idea of how much time you have, one moment.
Like 300.
Technically, should be 4 intervals or more. It's you could probably one-shot this, to be honest.
I don't. Yeah, I can't. I don't. I just need to get 5 work.
In the meantime, I do want to go down to the sick bay and talk to the survivors we beamed over.
You mean the
Assuming they're all
brig?
Federation citizens. Yeah,
Um,
the brig.
Take 3 threat.
Okay.
We have momentum.
Xenotechnology as a focus.
No.
Okay.
This is-
Electroplasma power systems.
Yes. Because that's how they're causing the overload.
Damn, dude.
That's 2 momentum.
That's 6, and I get an extra because I got a breakthrough. I get an extra breakthrough. So technically, I'm getting 3 breakthroughs here.
Yep.
And the overload is stopped.
Welcome to my world. To see if this was done remotely.
Do you want track to follow after the security team? I say clear the rest of the station. Well, the post.
Yeah, sure. As long as this area is secure.
Or do you want him to stick with you? Because you told the security team to secure the rest of the area. I don't know if you want track to go with them or not.
Probably prudent for track to stay here.
Okay, so he'll hang back. They're gonna advance. I'm gonna get to you in a moment, Ray, after this roll Mira, because this will kill them. I mean, this is important. We're going to say you're pulling from the logs, you say?
Yes. Well, I also want to see if,
Yeah, it's not that hard.
control science, diff 1.
Yeah, as you're just pulling the logs. Just make sure you're getting the right one.
Computers for a focus?
Yeah.
I'm rolling flat. Got the 1 success.
It would appear that it was done on purpose. Someone in this room instructed the core to take in more plasma than it put out. Just basically a good old fashioned overload. It's clumsy. It's primitive way, crude, I think is the word, but it works.
Is there an identification marker on who the officer was or individual?
It seemed to be under maintenance officer 256A4. It's just gobbledygook. Basically, this is hacked by somebody, and it forced the system to take the command.
Second question, was it done remotely?
No. No.
Ensign Track, be advised that an individual might still be here on the outpost.
And it's at that moment you hear phaser fire deeper in the post.
Track, you're with me.
We're going to cut to Ray. As you come into the med bay, you actually get there in time. Medical. You see them all scanning and they're applying hyposprays. You see a bunch of Starfleet crewmen and officers kind of blinking and getting instructions from the medical teams. Are you hurt? Where does it hurt? You see there's extra security in the room, because there's so many people in here.
Yeah, that makes sense. I want to get a hold of the chief medical officer. What seems to be what seems to be the issue with all of them?
It seems they were all subjected to sedative. Whoever pumped them with full of as much as they could. Some of them, there should be all okay. We got to them in time, but we do have the issue of possible overdose and such. But we're handling it now, sir.
Don't like that threat spend. Don't
worry about that. So, anything else you're asking the doctor?
Was the... Can we tell the route that the sedatives were brought in? Were they brought in and through an gas, or was it hyperspray?
A gas. He can tell you that.
Okay. I'll make a note to let the crew know, let the away team know, and also I want a security officer to double check these guys, or not.
All stations, hostile aircraft incoming, weapons powered. All stations, battle stations.
Security, you keep the survivors in this room. I'll be on the bridge. And on the way over, I'm gonna tap my comm badge and just pipe me through to the away team.
So we're getting nothing but static. It's the scream.
Son of a bitch.
Use the Force, Luke. Or, in this case, the Screamer Ray.
We have now fallen into combat. Their action is basically just coming into system and warping in after you, throwing their screaming their jamming signal. It goes to any of you right now. As a note, there is combat rounds happening here as well, because the security team advantage has encountered a trap, and they're in a firefight right now.
This is gonna get tricky, because we're not a big ship.
No, we're not.
So the security team, what is the security team facing right now? An unknown thing.
Hold on. That's for my benefit, because they're not any of the...
Is it like a standard security system?
It's people.
Okay. Let's pull away from the listening post. Go to intercept range as best we can, and prepare to fire on the lead ships. I don't know. I don't know how much movement we can do.
They're in extreme range, right?
Yes.
Let's
long.
close to...
So hold on.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you some advice here. We have improved warp drive. So if you wanted to get in within medium range, you can warp to it, which would cost 2 power, but we get to roll 2 challenge dice, which we could potentially get that power back.
Okay, so we can jump in on top of them, and then would I be able to fire in the same turn?
I would wait. I would let them come into range of you because of the personnel situation we have, and they're not... It's unlikely they're going to have weapons that are effective at extreme, so they'll probably close into long or medium, and once they do that, then it'll be easier for you to actually engage them next turn.
Yeah, I don't feel the a need to get the jump on because they are towards us. So let's just maneuver into position. Like, how many squares of movement can we do at impulse?
You can move at impulse. You can move to any of the... Actually, it's better if I use the thing. You can move out to any of these areas, and you can probably move as far as say about there. Because impulse lets you move two up to long, I believe. I'm gonna double check, make sure I'm not lying to you.
Should let you move into within 2 ranges of where you were long. And in this case, we should be able to move into medium
Impulse. Anything in long range. Okay, so you'd be able to move anywhere to like.
Let's move up to medium in range, kind of get between them and the station, and we're already at red alert. Alright, so weapons and everything are charged, and begin targeting the lead ships.
Okay, you're going to. You can have a flight officer try to roll for it to possibly get momentum, or you can just spend 1 power.
I just spend the power because we're capped.
Let's spend the power.
No, it doesn't cost us a crew support. But the issue is we don't have another sheet because we would have to make a tactical officer because we only have the one made.
It's about.
But here's my advice, though: we need to keep the initiative, and then you can go and direct. I'm assuming all of them are within close range of each other.
You can hit basically any of these 4 if you did an area. You couldn't hit this guy.
No, because the way area works is it's close to the range of the target. So if you target the middle one, it could potentially hit all of them.
You're thinking phaser spread?
Yeah, you do not spread, area. You do a phaser array attack on this guy here, and it's essentially area. You'll hit. Depending if you roll enough effects, it'll hit everybody.
You could also try to use the anti-screamer thing to scare them off. If you use it to build on the frequency, once they lose communication with each other, they might not want to fight anymore.
And that's your non-combat part there.
Oops.
Yeah,
that doesn't help me.
You'd have to ask the GM on that. I don't know that you're going to be able to do all that.
How much would it be to get the anti-screamer device operational?
It would cost you 1 momentum and give 1 threat because you're using a prototype at short notice.
I think we can do that. Would this follow under plan of action since I was planning ahead to use the anti-screamer device?
1 moment. Plan of action. So, for my benefit, I'm gonna write this down so I don't forget it.
It's in the command book. I forgot. Command book, page 45.
Thank you.
It's when you create the advantage, not when you're using an advantage. So if you do the advantage task,
well, the way I'll rule it, plan of action does kick in, but what will happen is if you deploying it actually does what you want and it succeeds, then you generate 2 bonus momentum that you have to spend right away because it doesn't get saved into the group pool. It's meant to be used because the plan of action went off the way you wanted it to.
Okay. I can think of some bullshit I can pull off. Let's do it.
Is there going to be a task associated with it using the device?
Yes.
Okay, then I would like to spend 2 momentum to use my ability to say that I gave him a special command and control device that makes it easier to use.
Fair enough.
That can represent an advantage that you can reduce the difficulty or all that good stuff.
Slight stretch here. Could I use diffuse attention on this since I'm trying to diffuse the situation through non-violent means?
Diffuse attention is when you're trying to talk someone down out of something. You're trying to get them to not be so ready to attack you.
Okay.
It's the sort of thing you'd use when you're talking down like a hostage taker and telling him, no, you don't the hostage, it's fine. We can talk this out, I promise. So you want to deploy the device. You are keeping the initiative, I assume, after you jump on top of them. So that's 2 momentum to hang on. Okay, now you're deploying the thing. Cool. So it's a that, but essentially you're doing that. Okay. So are you trying? What setting are you putting the anti-screamer on? Trying to just fire off the pulse that basically cancels out the scream, basically nullifying it, or are you trying to blow out their communication systems?
Let's be offensive. Let's blow out their communications.
All right. It's going to be an opposed control engineering roll, assisted by your ship's comms plus security.
I could take a lead on that. I'm not sure. We don't have the crew support to do this.
What's the difficulty?
Opposed.
Okay. Well, you can have it. I gave you an advantage where they so you can spend that to make them have to get one higher than you, basically decreasing the difficulty.
Let's use that advantage. If I'm going to take the main roll, I will take momentum to get an extra dice, and I want to use a determination.
Okay.
Never bargain with people's lives. These guys are coming in for the attack, and we're trying to stop them from attacking us.
I'll give it to you.
Assisted by ships.
What did I say? Communication security.
Okay. Oh, Artemis. I don't think I have any focus unless tactics could apply.
At increased complication, I'll give it to you.
Not worth it. I don't have a 2 in. Oof. But I do have my determination, so I have 2 more on top of that.
And you increased my difficulty by 1?
Yep.
Cool. Well, I'll try. Buy an extra die.
Okay. I was gonna say, if he's afraid he can't make it, then you can always spend a normal to re-roll the 2. But I think he's confident that he was gonna make it.
Nice. Nice. Was that? I can't hear you.
I hate to toot my own horn, but.
And if I get, I'm gonna roll 5 challenge dice. For each hit I get, one of them's gonna get damaged. So at least 1.
Also, depending on how well this works, I feel like I expect some of them should just like start bowing to you as the screamer lord or whatever. Like you're the new kid on the block, or the new guy in charge.
All of their communication systems get fried, and the central ship actually starts drifting derelict on the side.
Awesome. That's it for my turn.
And because it's been disabled, it checks to see if it tries to blow itself up. It does not blow up.
I guess it's gonna have to pass to the other side then.
That's
Blew all of our momentum on that one turn.
It was worth it?
It was.
Oh, fudge muffins. This one's going to move in close. And is going to try to shoot at you in the same breath. Good luck, buddy. You have a difficulty 3 ahead of you. For quick to action? Isn't it just one?
It's 2 momentum.
It's 2?
I think the momentum and the threat spins mirror each other, so it should be 2.
I thought it was 1 momentum as well. That's why I was confused.
No, both quick to action and swift task are 2.
Ah. Well, he's going to give it a shot.
And this would be more of a swift task, I think.
Yeah.
Technically, they could also keep the initiative, but
It doesn't really matter at this point, unless it would matter depending on what you want to do. But
so this guy tries to fire disruptor cannons at you, and he misses because he's too busy flying and charging at you. It goes back to you guys.
Well, I've kind of done all I can. You guys do whatever you need to on the station.
Are those guys standing near a door? Is that a door there?
Door here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I run to a panel and see if I can override that door?
Override it to do what?
I assume it's open, so I want to close it.
Secondary engineering difficulty 2.
I feel like this is more effective than using a phaser because I only get 4 challenge. I only get 3 challenge dice on a phaser. Computers?
I'll give it to you.
Bold engineering, so I'll spend... You need some threat, so I'll spend 3.
Thank you. Get 2 momentum. And are you trying to close them out and lock them in with the security team, or lock them out?
Could I see what... So I didn't really... I didn't think that far ahead. I just assumed that I would close them out. Can I spend 2... Can I say I'm going to close them out? And can I spend 2 momentum to say that I'm going to catch one of them in the door?
what about spending the 2 momentum that you engage force fields and seal off the corridor that they're in, so that they can't engage in further hostilities?
Is that a possibility?
It is.
That ends up with less arms on the floor, so let's do that one.
Security team, you hear some phase of fire from the security team. It's like, huh? What? Because the door's closed and then a force field kicked up.
Well, I mean, like, they're locked in that corner and they can't go anywhere. So that with that advantage. So
we are very good at not engaging the enemy, just throwing up all kinds of obstacles and not shooting.
Turn goes back to them.
We don't have any way to keep it.
You can give me 2 threat.
Can I?
You can if you want.
Can I do a swift task to start like leaking some kind of gas in that room?
Nesticine gas.
I would say that, but I don't know if that gas is like charged in canisters anywhere for me to let out.
But yeah, you could do it. For 2 threat.
I have a decent medicine score. I'm going to try this. Can I use computers again?
Yeah. Oh wait, no, it wouldn't be difficulty 2. What am I crazy? You're quick to actioning. It's difficulty 3. Because you're doing the same. You're doing another thing in the same breath. I just forgot that. Oh, I almost forgot it. I should say.
Determination spend on no computer is safe from me.
Yes, sure.
Oh, I don't think. I think the determination counts as another rolled die, so that's still procs.
It's still 2. You needed 3.
Give me a second.
Sure.
Hold on.
I'm holding.
So I have one normal milestone.
Quick
I don't
question.
know what I got.
Seeing what he's doing, can I assist?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
Can I spend my one normal milestone I have on the same value for a reroll?
Given, yes, yeah, I'm okay with it. I had to think about it. I was like, wait, did you do computer stuff? I think you did.
There might have been some brains involved, but it was mostly using computers and putting brains into computers.
No, you sold me off it. Now I can't use it. Go ahead. This doesn't
There we
involve
go.
brains, so. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get 2 momentum. Hey guys, do you stay awake for me to give you a chance to do anything? I think you do, but let's find out. How about you, friend? How about you? No, one of you went down.
Night night.
The other guy might be able to do something. I'm not sure what he's going to do, but... but yes, you fill the room with anesthesiing gas. And I think that's it for you guys. What are you going to do, friend?
I am not gone yet. Just so you're aware.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? Well, he'll do something that's perfectly within his intelligence. He's gonna try to shoot the door. This'll work, right? Sure. I don't want to miss a door of all things. There's phaser fire on the other side of that door. Hey,
Good
buddy.
thing. It's a good thing that Tamira clarified what kind of gas we were going with, because if we had just gone with a random gas, he may have just blown up half the station.
Oops, he didn't die. Go ahead, Tamara. I just knocked out one of my own NPCs.
I don't think there's really anything for me to do.
You could kill Magnus. Do me a favor.
You could do. I don't know if there's a lot as far as Tamira, but there's a lot of stuff on the ship that still needs to happen.
Yeah. But
Yeah, because on the station, I think there's a lot of investigative work to do, but nothing that we need to do in a combat turnover.
Hey, you could activate a crew support on the ship. Try to help Ray out with the support.
yeah, but we don't have a supporting character that's on the ship that could do tactical.
For now, just to save time.
We could use a copy of Saru's sheet because he's a tactical officer. Just say we're using him. He just doesn't have access to the last, maybe one of the focuses and the talent. That would make him even with a rolled character.
Yeah. So basically, just his focuses and his attributes and discipline. Very simplified security character.
Orders, Captain.
Oh, it's to the ship's turn?
Yep. You have a tactical officer who's looking for orders.
Where did my sheet go?
Captain, I recommend we fire on the other 4 fighters before they get in close range.
Yep, let's wing. Yeah, let's target it there. Eric, can we swing around to this far side here?
Well, we can't move,
Actually, no.
and then we can't do that. We can only...
Yeah, we can't move. We can't move and fire at the same time.
Right.
Okay. Actually, we're in a good position anyway, so let's just fire on them.
Alright. Yeah. So, doing spread...
You mean area? Sorry.
Sorry, area. Yes, area.
I mean, if you really want to destroy one ship in particular.
No, thank you for it. Let's pump 1 extra power into the shot. And it's difficulty 2.
Yeah, they're at your optimum range.
Well, let's hold on to the momentum, but take a threat.
Sure.
Ship or tactical systems.
Yeah.
Can I assist with presence command, given the order?
You've acted, unfortunately.
Okay.
The ship does assist, so.
Assists with a number plus weapons plus security. I don't even know why I'm looking it up. You hit.
That's gonna be too many dice.
You hit at least 2 extra ships.
Spending a momentum to re-roll 2.
Okay.
Oh, that's harsh.
Yeah.
So presumably you're aiming for this guy
Yeah.
to have the highest chance of hitting most people.
Yep, that's
so
the
you're
one.
hitting. Who's the guy you're leaving out? I guess is an easier question to answer.
Probably that guy in the back.
This guy here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So we know he's getting hit and he's getting hit. Just so I remember.
So that's 6 damage. Subtract whatever resistance. Is that enough for a breach?
How much damage again?
It's total of 6.
That's enough for a breach. That's enough for a breach, yeah. I was checking their shields.
Okay. But with that though, because the versatile count, you only need to spend it once, but the versatile is going to go into devastation or devastating attack, which is essentially like spread, and that will go to all 3. So half of 6, which is 3 damage. Subtract resistance. Spend 1 momentum for piercing.
Okay.
And
they all explode as they get wiped out by the phaser sweep. Oh. That's my fault. Ships that are scale 1 are usually difficulty 3, but you hit those ones because I goofed. But just for future rolls, I forgot that shooting at something that's scale 2 or lower is harder.
I think it's
Yeah.
just scale 1 or lower.
Scale 2 or lower. It's scale 2.
Oh, okay.
But I'll give you those guys because that was my goof, not yours. Yeah, you blow up 3 of them, definitely, because 2 breaches like that, they're scale 1 ships. They can't take much damage.
So much for that. Let's use the defensive version of the device and not be all aggressive.
This guy moves up. And he's going to try to... that's going to cost him to shoot you. In the same breath, he's giving himself an extra die. Oh, good luck, buddy. Oh, no.
Well, it's difficulty 3, I'm assuming, because that was a swift task.
Yeah.
So, ouch. You get
Is
2
he
threat
using-
back.
Is he using arrays or cannons?
Banks.
Oh, if he's using banks, it's difficulty 4, because those are banks are normally medium range weapons.
Oh, sorry.
Cannons
It is
are close.
cannons. You're right.
Yeah.
Because they were using...
It depends. If it's a shuttle, it's still close with banks.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I'm not crazy. Oops, that's the wrong number. Oh, that's why.
This might hurt, might not.
We're scale 5. It probably won't be that bad. Because ship's weapons are related to the scale.
We're scale
I take that back.
4.
It's vicious.
Piercing.
2,
We're
4,
taking
6,
5 right
8,
now.
9. We're scale 4, so we're taking 5 without it.
Oh, I thought we were scale 5.
No, we're scale 4.
No skill 4.
How much was it for devastating again?
It's
2.
2. And then it's
There you
half of that. So it's half of the initial damage. So
Yeah, they're that petty.
2, 4, 6. Ouch.
Yeah, that means we're gonna take 2 breaches.
Yep.
Oh, really?
But
Oh.
our shields don't go down, so that's okay.
So we took 5 off the initial hit. And then
Oh.
the secondary. Well, it might not be 2 breaches. So
Because then it's gonna take our shields down for that devastating, and that would
it's
bottom
half.
our shields
Well,
out.
you also strapped a resistance on the half. So technically, if you round, are you rounding up or down?
Down.
So 4. The resistance is 4. You would have to spend. That wouldn't even phase the shields because that would hit on the devastating.
I didn't say they were smart. I'll let them waste their threat.
So it's
They
just.
thought that was going to work.
So it's just a 1 breach on structure.
So it's just structure. Hey, Ray.
You gotta roll a challenge dice, and if it's an effect, you gotta roll for the main characters and supporting for lethal injury.
There's only one main character.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which-
but it includes the supporting characters too.
Yes, it.
Oh no, you don't
No,
roll 1
it-
for each of them.
No, you
On
just,
an effect, you roll against a table of all of the people on the ship.
Yeah, if there's an
Oh.
effect, then if there's an effect with the on a structure breach, then a player character or important NPC gets injured. Technically, I
But
think
moving
sporting characters are immune to that, but
Moving forward, they fire structure. You take a breach to structure. Thankfully, no one gets dropped. That is them. Everyone on your side has acted. So it's a new round. They started last time, so it goes to you.
Okay. They're really not in the position that we can do another area, are they?
They are, because they're both within close range of each other again.
Oh, okay.
Problem is though,
let's
it's
see.
difficulty 4.
Because they're so
Okay.
close to you.
Yeah, now
And-
might be the time for. Oh wait, never mind. You cannot communicate with them to tell them anything.
Nope. That's what I get for being aggressive.
Well, you can't, you know, proof your devices against well-meaning captains.
Shields are down to 50%. We have a breach in structure.
Reika could help get some power back.
Also, their
Uh,
scale 1. You
actually, I
could
think
ram
we're
one
at
of them, and
half.
it probably wouldn't hurt you that much. I think it'd actually be pretty effective because they're not going to be able to do that much again.
Because I did
I would
forgot
not-
to take the power down off the from the phaser shot, so we're actually at 5 power.
Yeah, let's get some. Can we regen and power then? Have
Power.
have Reika regen power for us.
Daring or control plus engineering difficulty 2 to get some power. Plus some momentum to get it to get more.
Oh, we don't have any momentum, unfortunately.
Maybe she'll crush the roll.
Is ship gonna help?
Maintenance.
No, unfortunately.
That's not how this works.
No. She's trying to get the ship to do things it doesn't normally do.
Take 3 threat.
Sure.
Oh my god. I don't. Yeah, technology speed doesn't apply here. There's no way she can re-roll that, and there was only 1 momentum. You know what? We're just gonna take that complication.
I'm just gonna take the threat.
So we have the ship has improved power systems. So
Correct.
Get 1. We get 2 power back from just the 1. We get 2.
Oh, right. That's the
'Cause
cool
it-
thing it gives you.
Yeah, because it gets 1 extra 1, and then we'll spend that momentum to get a total of 4 power back.
Bring our total power to 9. Okay.
Yep.
And that is our turn, unfortunately.
Improved power system is probably one of the best ones to take.
The security team retreats back as they know gas is flooding into the chamber they're in, and they inform you guys that that's happening. As you can see them retreating back to where you are.
Are we still in the combat turn order?
Yes.
This might be a Tamira problem to solve.
This seems like an engineering problem to solve.
No, you take care of it. No, you take care of it.
I feel like we're starting to establish that you're around to help mitigate the problems that I caused.
Well, in that case, I think I'm going to order you to fix the problem you created.
You have a direct task?
I'll give it to him because you're the senior on the
The away team.
on the mission.
Oh, that's cool.
You go by red alert rules, I guess.
Well, it does count as you doing an act. That's Tamira doing the direct action.
Yeah.
So she directs Magnus to do something about it.
The good news is,
I'll give up my turn and say, hey, go. Do
I
this.
think I can fix it. The bad news is I pretty much used every extra resource I had on creating this problem. So if it's particularly difficult to solve it, take a good deep breath real quick.
So, what role to essentially the gas to vent out of the station.
We're gonna call that a... You know what?
Good.
Since you gave me all that threat, I might as well give it back. You know, I'll be generous that way. Daring engineering, difficulty 4.
I'm going to give you 6 threat.
Increase and complication to 2. I'll just take 4.
Can I use computers as a focus? Because that's what I used to create this problem.
Sure.
Reroll on the 0 because some reason I want a complication. Oh, too bad.
I hit the difficulty on the head.
Just need the assist.
I technically don't think I get the assist, but
I'll give it to you. You're gonna need it.
I don't know if I want to. Oh, the command presence roll, please don't fail.
So it was a difficulty 4 and we got 6.
Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah.
I just think we just keep that momentum.
Because I'm going to need it.
I'll bounce it back to them. I'll worry about you guys in a second. Wow. Well, no, I kind of like where you guys are. Yeah, but you guys will actually have a turn. Yeah, we'll have one on the ship shoot at you. We'll mark who shot, so I don't forget who shot. You shoot. Don't miss, I swear. You're right on top of them. I know you're dumb, but come on, you're not blind. Here, have a threat. Don't suck, please. Yeah. Oh. There you go. Rerolling fails.
We're taking 1 so far. Taking
Nice.
1 shield damage.
Nah, they're not that. No. They learned their lesson. Let's hang on to the initiative because my friend over there screwed up, so I'm gonna do it right. I'll show him. I'll show him how to shoot a ship this big. How do you miss something that big?
Like that?
Like this. Watch. Yeah. Good job, guys. Back to you guys as they fire and don't do a whole lot of effective damage, really.
So, Ray, you have plan of action, all right?
Yes, I do.
Create an advantage that lowers the difficulty to hit the ships for the next attack.
Okay. Plan of action. Let's maneuver. Plan of action,
Well, we're not
and we'll
maneuvering. You're just saying, hey, you describe a tactic that you want to do. That's going to lower the difficulty for the shot.
tactic. The tactic is we're gonna lower our z-axis, so that way we can point up at them. Z minus 10,000 meters. Yep, drop down, fire from
From below.
From below.
Captain, I believe his plan of strategy suggests that he's playing on a two-dimensional in two-dimensional thinking.
And also, if you point up at them, we can rotate our shields. So that way we can strengthen our shields from four, and we can also target our weapon forward.
Actually, I'm gonna call that daring, not insight. You thought of the idea already. You're trying to implement. But you're telling people to do it, so I know I'm being indecisive here. We're gonna call it controller presence plus security. That's not how you spell presence, but let's go with it.
Okay, definitely doing presence security. Focus in tactics. That's exactly
Yes.
what I'm doing. Yep. Do I want to spend a die? No, it's only difficulty 2.
She's totally spent threat.
No, I shouldn't. Actually, yeah, just because I'm gonna spend 1 momentum to get 1 extra dice.
Okay.
Just in case. This is my greatest roll. Let's go.
Get 2 momentum. You have
Boom,
created
baby.
the advantage.
We could probably let them go again. We might be fine.
Yeah, I think we're okay.
Oh, how generous of you. So you're gonna try to wake up. Good luck. Nope. Back to you.
All right. So yes, I want to save as much momentum as possible for this shot. I'm assuming the tactical officer is going to go. He's going to shoot at that one guy, which be
Okay.
base 4. Advantage created makes it 3.
Mm-hmm.
Tactical officer, do your job.
Take 3 threat.
Sure.
You only got 1 momentum out of that.
And you have 2 bonus momentum floating because it's part of the plan, because you seeded off a plan of action advantage.
I want to spend an extra power for extra challenge dice on the weapons array.
Sure.
This is a area.
Okay.
Spending 1 to reroll 3. One of the float.
One of the floated.
Yeah, the plan of action one. That's 8. Both versatile. One versatile goes into piercing, and the other. Sorry, actually, the other float and the versatile go into devastating. So that's 4. Because they're phaser arrays, they get their own each. Because devastating counts as a separate attack.
Okay.
I was
Just checking something.
Yeah. It should come out math-wise, because there was an effect, so it should hit the other ship.
No, stop. So that goes there. That goes there.
For the devastating, for the versatile, for that, 1 piercing and 1 extra damage. That should be 2 breaches. Possibly a 3rd.
Oh, yeah, that's right. 2 breaches. They blow up right away, actually.
Hostiles neutralized, Captain.
Move us back in range of the. Back within in transport range of the station.
As the ship starts coming about, someone's going to try to see if they wake up. I believe in you, Timmy. God damn it, Timmy. Back to you guys. This is mainly station-based because the space problems are dealt with. It's just that you have a room without anything gas and breathing fresh air again. So they're going to wake up eventually.
Security teams secure the individuals.
Either Saru or Tamira can do a presence security role here.
You know what? That's probably gonna be Saru.
Actually, it'd be Saru or Magnus because Tamira acted in this round. I just remembered.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a. What's the task?
Presence security to direct the security team. Difficulty 2.
I'm rolling an 8, so no.
It would be Saru then.
Yep.
Well, I think we should just. He's rolling a 12. Yeah. There's no focus for this, so let's
Very
just
unfocused.
let's spend 3 momentum. Why not? What was the difficulty? Was it 2?
2, so you got 1 momentum. The security team, when they advance, request the force field to be brought down. Because it's still up, and they can't get to the door right now.
Minor action for Saru to do that.
Yeah. And they secure the last hostiles. And you are out of combat.
Artemis, your away team.
Everything all right, Captain?
Yeah, we had some green aim fighters drop out of warp and start attacking us. So what's the situation over there?
A little gassy.
Excuse me?
The doctor's analysis is partially accurate, but the station is secure for the meantime.
Damage report, we have a hull breach on deck 12. It's somewhat breached into a subsection of deck 13 as well, sir.
Okay, let's get repair teams aims on that. Keep us at yellow alert.
Aye, sir.
Can I start going through the logs of the station and stuff?
Sure.
I'm gonna switch into investigator mode.
What are you looking for? Or are you just downloading?
I don't know what I should be looking for. What does this station do again?
It's a listening post that observes the system, specifically the pre-warp sieve. It's also for warning anyone approaching the system that this is a pre-warp and under Federation protection. But this is a Starfleet installation. It's meant as a warning post.
I think I'm only really interested in what was done to the station. If someone else wants to look into like all of the other stuff, like who came into the system and all that, I don't think Magnus really cares about all that stuff. I'm just interested in what was done to the engine and who did it and how they did it.
Oh, I can tell you that. As Tamira had pulled up the files earlier, it seems that someone very crudely just told the reactor to take in more plasma than it put out, which causes an overload. Who did it? Some random hacker who the system. The computer doesn't know any more than that.
Can I like look for traces or evidence around who could have done this? Like maybe a style of programming or something like that?
I'd ask for insight plus security, difficulty 2. Ray, when you send control teams to the breach, it seems that the breach is in a very inconvenient place to patch up right now. For the time being, thankfully, it's just a minor damage to the system. There are some force fields that kicked in automatically. Someone's just going to need to sit by the engineering console on the bridge or at the in-main engineering and just keep an eye on it. But they'll need to go into, if they want to repair that, they need to be in a port because you're missing hull plating, and they can't really replicate that much hull plating at any great speed and install it. Theoretically, you can, but it's not worth it if you are anywhere near a starbase.
Which we are, but we'll fuss with that later. At least we're not like leaking atmosphere at the moment.
Yeah.
Does this count as non-standard Federation technology?
I'm going to say no.
Can I create a normal advantage?
How? You can. I'm just wondering in what manner.
Can I have the brains on board the ship help? Like, help me sift through things?
For one momentum, you could have a team of some sort of. Actually, have a security team with you. Bring down
There's
the
an engineering team here too.
Yeah.
Oh, well then, yeah, I'll just do that.
You just ask them, hey, are one of you good at this sort of thing? Oh, actually.
And if they represent an advantage, don't they?
Yep.
Okay, then I'll just reduce the difficulty by 1.
Okay.
And I'll spend the other momentum for a dice.
Okay.
So we should be at 0.
Yeah, you look into it. There's no particular programmer, and when you ask them, they're not sure. But if they have a copy of the data, if they can look it up on the ship's computers and see if there's anything in the main memory bank. If not there, the station will have an update on anything, so they could hail the station and go, "Hey, have you heard anything?" But basically, yeah, they can throw it out to the brain trust of Starfleet security to find out who might have done this. But among the people standing here, they don't know. They don't recognize the code. Or at least there's nothing identifiable in the style.
Okay.
Orders? Says Track as he looks between the two of you.
The individuals that you secure out, do you recognize the race? Because I haven't seen them yet. Or species.
Actually. One appears to be Klingon, and the other is.
Oh, human.
Yes, sir. Not sure if they're from Earth or not. Hard to interrogate someone when they're unconscious.
Secure them, get them back to the ship and place them in the brig.
Aye, sir.
Let's start downloading all the relevant data and get it back to the Artemis. Security team. Have another security team do a final sweep of the ship. Let's make sure that there's no other surprises and borders.
And to wrap things up a little bit here, since we're coming out fairly late, the one thing we're going to pick up from here, but what I'll say as a slight time jump is that you will be able to secure the listening post. In short, the survivors are Starfleet personnel that were taken by these people. Who they represent is uncertain yet because they have to be woken up. There is, and actually I'll mark, just so I don't forget, I'll mark that there's some debris out here because you did blow up some ships and they didn't have a chance to scuttle themselves because you kind of just blew them away. So I'll mark that. And the last thing I'll leave off with the episode. At the moment, there is another ping that comes off the planet. And all the lights across the ship flicker. And even on the station, they start to flicker. As if a wave passes through the entirety of both crafts.
Interesting.
But for now, that will be all. We'll have to pick this up in part 2.